Welcome to Being the Change, the official podcast of James Madison University, brought to you by Madison Magazine. Each episode brings to you stories of how members of the JMU community combine intellect with action to live lives of purpose and meaning. That's Being the Change.
What's up, JMU? Andy Perrine here, head of JMU Marketing, welcoming you to Being the Change, a brand new podcast from the university. And we're going to be exploring all kinds of issues related to the JMU community, everything from chatting with interim President Charlie King and the new AD Matt Rohn to a JMU history faculty member who's got a brand new book on the New York Times bestseller list, and how AI is being used on campus by faculty and students. So from soup to nuts, we're going to be talking about things related to JMU, and we're really excited to bring this podcast to the community and celebrate all the things that make JMU unique and special. And we're calling it Being the Change because we really want to give examples of how folks on campus are combining intellect and action to live lives of meaning and purpose. And Being the Change is brought to you by Madison Magazine. And with me today to talk a little bit about how this is going to unfold is Jim Heffernan. Jim is the executive editor of Madison Magazine. And welcome, Jim.
Hi, Andy. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I'm really glad to be here with you. And listen, it was your idea to start this podcast, and I'm interested to hear why.
Yeah, I'm really super excited about the launch of the Being the Change podcast, which will be brought to you by Madison Magazine. I've always been kind of an audio person, whether it was, playing music growing up or listening to an NPR program or a podcast. And, I watched and listened as some of the podcasts have developed at JMU recently, and some of them have been great. And I started thinking, I'd really like to have a podcast that really speaks to the university as a whole in the same way that Madison is the magazine of James Madison University. So looking to align some of the content and share some of those same stories that you might be reading in the magazine, and having conversations with the folks who are featured in this podcast. So it's really exciting.
Well, and it's a great way to reach different audiences too. Not everybody reads print publications any longer, even though studies show of our alumni that Madison Magazine is the number one way folks like to stay connected to the university. So I'm really excited that we might be able to get some new listeners included into the Madison fold.
Yeah, me too. And every time we sit down and plan out an issue of Madison Magazine, we're really thinking about those being the change stories, looking to highlight those individuals, those programs that are having an impact. And so that really drives what we do in the magazine. And I think every issue is chock full of being the change. So now some of those same people that will be featured in the magazine will also be in this Being the Change podcast. And I'm just really excited about that.
Well, and also just so our listeners know, we're also planning to cover topics that might not be in the magazine. And it also will allow us to go more in depth on things that are in the magazine as well.
Right.
And we're planning on publishing a new Being the Change podcast, every 7 to 10 days as we go throughout. And the introduction is this fall semester. So we're really excited.
Yeah. And like you said, not every episode is going to be drinking the JMU Kool-Aid, we're not going to shy away from some topics that are timely and newsworthy and affecting higher education. You mentioned AI. We've got an episode upcoming, which is about AI, and the magazine did an issue back in fall of 2023 about AI. But in this episode, you'll hear from members of that AI task force that was formed a couple of years ago.
And we've got an episode coming up where we speak with the JMU head of financial aid about the botched rollout of the FAFSA. And, that's an issue that all of us are confronting, especially our incoming class.
Absolutely.
Well, JMU, you can find Being the Change podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll also be promoting it through Madison Magazine emails, and it'll be all throughout JMU social media. Like, share, and follow like you do with other podcasts that you might enjoy. And we're really looking forward to having fun with the community through this. And if you have ideas about upcoming episodes for Being the Change, you can reach us at beingthechange@jmu.edu, and we'd love to hear from you and possibly get you on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Andy, and thanks for hosting and getting this off the ground, and really appreciate it, and looking forward to how this unfolds, and go Dukes.
Go Dukes.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next time to hear another story of how members of the James Madison University community are being the change. Dive deeper and consume countless other stories at jmu.edu/Madison Magazine. Go Dukes!
The Being the Change podcast was conceived by Jim Heffernan, editor of Madison Magazine, and me, Andy Perrine, head of JMU Marketing. Thanks to Jenna Polk and the team at Rose Library Studios, where the show is recorded by Steve Adderton, the guy who also captures those amazing campus drone shots you see on Instagram. Original music and episode production by Neil Perrine. All of us involved in creating Being the Change are JMU alumni, and we bleed purple. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.